Hi YouTube, Make Mine Marvel here with another statue unboxing and review. This is the Sideshow Prime 1 Spider-Man 2099, the exclusive version. This is my first Prime 1 piece. I've seen a number of Prime 1 pieces, the Batman line, some of the Transformers stuff in person. They do great work, and I've seen pictures of this one too, so everybody's been raving about it. Can't wait to get this open and see how it is. So the art box sure is packed very nicely. You can see here where the shipper took some damage, but all the styrofoam's intact, and I'm sure the art box is fine. I don't know if all Prime 1 pieces are like this. I'm assuming they are, but it's nice to see all the extra care going into surrounding the art box. So it does come with instructions, card and how to put it together and everything. It's a pretty cool looking card. It's nice and glossy and has some cool pictures of the piece. You can also see here, I counted them up, there's 14 individual pieces to this thing. You got to kind of build the base and the light up feature, and it looks pretty cool. So we'll get this opened up. It's got a couple compartments. It's got this big top compartment, and then it's got the another compartment underneath that. All right, so under the first compartment, it looks like most of the base pieces. The only complaints I've been hearing about this thing is if anything is going to be broken, it's going to be this piece here. They're saying it's real fragile, the webbing cape that goes across his shoulders. But I'm going to start pulling these pieces out and get them laid out. Okay, now all of these pieces were all on just that top compartment. So like we said, the cape, web caping, some of the two pieces of smoke for the base, the spire, part of the base there, and a ring. So all of these pieces were all in that top compartment. This is a heavy statue. It's 33 pounds was the ship weight. So it's got some good weight to it. And I like how Prime won't include these directions here. It's just simply like, for this piece in particular, they're saying, if it doesn't, take care when putting it into Spider-Man's back, and if it doesn't fit right away, heat it up with a hair dryer for a little bit to try, to get a little bit pliable, so it can fit in there easy. And they tell you not to, keep the hair dryer a certain distance away, which is real nice that it comes with those kind of instructions to help you out if you're having any difficulty. And there is the rest of the statue in there, the body, the rest of the base, a few other little pieces that go onto the base. All right, so finally made it to the bottom of the base. This part here, 314 out of 750 for the exclusive. You can see it's pretty flat, pretty simple, but then you got to build it up. There's a ton of pieces to continue to build this base up. So let's get started with this piece here. And then this piece inside it. I'm going to have to pause just so I can use two hands for some of this stuff. Alright, so the first step, obviously putting this part of the base, which goes in a keyhole in here, into that part of the base, and then this part here. Now, it doesn't feel like there's much of a magnet, if there is a magnet, so this kind of moves a little bit. I'm assuming when you put kind of the rest of the base on it, it kind of locks this piece down. But, just want to see how this goes together. It's pretty cool how to build it up. So from what I see, it doesn't come with batteries. A $700 statue, why would batteries be included? But anyways, it takes two AA batteries. Alright, so the next step before you put the next two pieces into the base is to connect the wires for the light up feature. So you can see there, the male goes into the female, circuitry on that. Put that together first, and then put it together onto the base. Okay, so the cord is plenty long enough to fit in there, and this does only line up one way. There's three keys on the bottom of this part of the base that goes, the males that go into the female parts in this part of the base. And the way the 3 keys are aligned, they're set up so it can only fit in one way. And then you kind of just give it a little turn and locks it into place. This button here is the switch to turn it on and off. So you just press the whole thing down, it turns it on. And you can see how the colors change. It's really cool. It's got a number of different LEDs that go around the whole thing. Really, really cool looking. And then this whole thing goes into the base. So let's get that done. So there's actually one more step that I failed to mention. This ring, you got to put that on. It goes as a key right into here. That goes on first before you put the whole thing in the base. All right, so when you're putting it in, just be careful because you can see how close these pieces are touching to each other. So you got to be real careful when you're trying to insert this whole thing into the base. Watch out for any kind of paint rub or anything like that. You know, there's more than enough room to make sure you don't scrape anything, but it gets tight, especially when you're starting to put it on. All right, this piece is quite the engineering marvel here. So you got 1 foot with a peg that goes into this piece here. 1 foot with a peg that goes into this piece here. Now, the way I had to get these pieces in was this piece slightly moves a little bit, this base piece. So I had to kind of push this back a little bit to line up the pegs to get them to sit in. And then it was a very, very slow process to work them in, the feet in evenly into both pegs. Go real slow on this one, guys. Just make sure that you know, nothing gets messed up or anything like that. I mean, super cool statue. They also recommend in the instructions, you know, getting the back piece on before you get him into the statue. It really wasn't that hard. It's definitely flexible enough because this is plastic that you can kind of bend it as you need to get it into the groove on his back. Wicked cool looking piece. Everything sculpted. Yeah, it's really nice. The claws are amazing, super sharp claws. Yeah. So the webbing here, you can see it's a really flexible piece of wire, or many pieces of wire that's just coiled up, wrapped over each other. This is a really flexible piece of plastic, so it's easy to get into there's little grooves or peg holes that this all goes into, and I'll show that in a second. So you can move this around as much as you need to. There's almost no way this can break, so you can kind of really get it how you like it. All right, and on the long spire, because there's a short spire there, on the long one, this antenna thing, you can see the 5 holes. That's what the webbing goes into. Okay, now because the whole webbing is a wire, there are a couple of magnets located on the base. Now you can actually see the magnet there, and the cord can stick on, the web can stick on wherever you want to on the web. So you can kind of position how you want, and you can magnetize it there. And then there's another magnet right here, which you can see just below the paint, and it can magnetize any way you want it. So it kind of helps you shape it however you want to shape the web. I still probably got to play around with it a little bit. You know, it's kind of all over the place. It's actually not that bad. I kind of like the way it looks up, but you know, just wanted to kind of show you how those magnets work. It's a neat little way they did that. All right, and the last few pieces for the base are the smoke, which is magnet there, and then these 2 spires go on with pegs. You know, the small spire goes here, and then the larger spire goes back there with the web connected to it. Now all that's left is just to get the heads on. I like how actually you can see back there in his foot, you can see the jet thrusters in the back of his heels, because Spider-Man, you know, 2099, he flies. He's got little jet packs on the bottom of his heels there, which is really cool. How they nice detail on it. It's on the bottom of that one as well. Really, really, really cool statue. Great detail all the way through. The only hiccup so far on mine is just really trying to get these feet in there. It doesn't feel like they were lining up perfectly. But, through a little bit of time, letting the statue sit, warm up, up here in Massachusetts, it's pretty cold outside when this got delivered. So sitting in the UPS truck and everything, the statue's probably pretty cold. So, when it warms up, it might become a little more pliable and maybe kind of will seat itself a little bit better. But overall, nothing to complain about. All right, let me get the head sculpts out. All right, and here are the two head sculpts for Spider-Man 2099, and I got the Spider-Man Premium format from Sideshow head sculpt as well that I brought over just as a size comparison to make sure that the Prime one is in scale with the rest of the Sideshow lineup. So first, my really only concern with the statue, seeing the pictures and everything, sorry about this, let me, was in all the pictures I saw, the skin tone to the exclusive head looked plasticky to me. It looked like, they didn't do that great of a job. But you can see here, my camera's picking up real well, the way they kind of gave his skin tone some freckles, they painted up, it's not just like a Ken doll, Barbie doll kind of plastic look to it. It's actually painted very well. So they did a real nice job with it. Because, I was worried that it was just going to look plasticky and I was probably never going to display the exclusive head. But I think this came out really nice. And the regular head. And so you can see here, let me lie that down there and put Spider-Man's head right next to it. All right. So these guys did come out really well. They're real good. They're almost identical in size. So the Prime 1 quarter scale line fits in real nicely with Sideshow's quarter scale line. So a nice strong magnet with the regular head. Like it fits in real nice. The seam is done pretty well because of the way the uniform wrinkles and stuff. You can't really see the seam at all. A little under his chin, you can kind of see it. But well, actually, now that I just adjusted the head, it kind of disappeared even more. So, nice job at engineering there with that. Looks awesome. Looks really good. All right, and there is the exclusive head portrait. Which, that even hides a seam even better because you obviously have a contrast between where he's pulling up his mask and the skin and the neck of the suit. So that seam is almost completely hidden just the way they've engineered the piece. And that looks really cool too. I thought I was going to like the regular head better than the exclusive, but I don't know at this point. All right, let me get you some more shots of this thing. It's so big I can't even get it all into one shot and spin it at one time. It's a really impressive piece. This is the only Prime 1 piece I've got and the only one I've ordered. Let's turn the lights on. I passed on the Prime 1 Venom, and I passed on the Anti-Venom. The Anti-Venom looks really cool, but I don't know much about the character. It's a giant piece, and for $850, that's just way too much to spend on a character that I don't even know, and it just takes up a huge amount of real estate. I really like how the lights change colors automatically too. All right, I'm gonna get this displayed where he's gonna be and take some overall group photos of the Spider-Man universe here. All right, so the only way I was able to get Spider-Man 2999 over there was to take the smoke off the base in order to move it all as one piece, and it's not easy to move it all. It's a large statue, heavy statue. You can see how tall it is. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's pretty awesome. So glad I picked this up. I can't imagine the size of what the Prime 1 Venom and Anti-Venom gotta be. I've seen like comparison shots, you know, where they have all three of these lined up at Comic-Cons and stuff, and the other two look like they dwarf Spider-Man 2099. So man, I can't imagine how big they're gonna be. Just huge. But anyways, great piece. Real happy with it. Ton of detail. You know, I think this is going to be staying in my collection for a while. And there's a Spideyverse so far. The only Spider-Man statue I'm thinking about getting next that I know is coming out would be Sideshow's Miles Morales premium format that they recently previewed. So that might be the only real addition that I'm thinking about getting to the Spider-Man lineup over here. But really happy with how this looks right now. Hey guys, as always, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And everybody take care. Bye.